Sinister Supreme Team, we are back, and today's video will be, I believe, number 4 or number 5 in my Losi Super REY upgrade series. And today we're going to be focusing on the T-Bone Racing RC Armor XV4 rear bumper for the Super REY, and the model number is 372201. What we have in front of us, we have a parts bag which includes all the Delrin parts. We also have in that parts bag, we have our hardware bag which has all our bolts and fasteners. And I have out in front of me a few of the tools that we need for the trade. I have my trusty Makita, a couple hexes. I have a 9/64 inch drill bit, and I'll tell you why I use that as we start the install, because I did a pre-fit to make sure things fit where they're supposed to. And as you can see, JSP, we have stickers now. So I have a bunch of stickers. New subscribers, let me know. Let me know with a screenshot that you've subscribed to J Sinister Productions. We'll get together through DMs and I can get you out a free sticker. Follow me on Instagram. I'll pop up all my information as far as my socials here. So if you want a free sticker and you're a new subscriber, or you're into RC and you have stickers of your own and you like to trade, let me know so I can get these brand new, hot off the presses, high quality J Sinister Productions stickers out to you in the mail. US residents only. That's US addresses only for now, and maybe in the future I'll start doing some overseas. And you know, I may just do overseas, you never know. But J Sinister Productions stickers are ready, hot off the presses. Let's go ahead and get started on this T-Bone Racing rear bumper for the Super REY. And as always, roll that intro footage.
J Sinister Productions.
Okay, moving on with the install, we're going to be dealing with these two pieces first. Alright, so we'll put this to the side for now because we're not going to get into that yet. We're going to focus on this piece. So this piece has a flat side with a beveled edge, and it has a completely flat side with no beveled edge. On the rear, the underside rear of the rear axle housing, there are two bolts that you will have to remove. I've already removed one. But when you place this brace down, you want the flat beveled edge to face the rear axle housing and the flat edge to face away from the axle housing. So let's go ahead and remove the second bolt from the rear axle housing. You're going to remove two of these button head bolts, one on each side, or I should say button head screws, not bolts, button head screws. Then you take your brace and slide it down again with the flat side facing outwards. This is the flat side, and the flat plus beveled edge side facing towards the axle housing. You want to grab your hardware bag and you want to pull out two screws and two washers. In this case, we're going to be using two cap head screws, and I have two black flat washers. So we have right here two of the cap heads. Here's one. I know it's hard to see that. My focus is right here. And then two black washers. Let me get this washer off. Slide it on. So now we have both of the cap heads. Get that in focus with the black washers. One goes on either side of the Delrin rear or lower brace. Alright, we have the brace installed, two cap head screws plus two black washers. You may receive silver colored or raw colored washers in your kit, but I received two black washers. And the next piece we're going to focus on is this skid plate. Skid plate fits easily. You have two holes here, two corresponding holes on the skid plate, and three corresponding holes on the rear of the skid plate, and it will fit just like this. In the beginning of the intro, I told you that I had to use this 9/64 drill bit. And the reason why is this. The two flathead screws that you use to attach the skid plate to the brace continuously bottomed out when I initially tried to screw them in to this brace. And it's because the hole was not drilled deep enough. So I took my 9/64 drill bit, drilled the hole out a little bit more, and got it to a depth that would allow me to fasten the skid plate onto the brace with the included hardware. And we'll do that now. Oh, as a tip, you may have noticed, well, you can't notice on camera, if you're doing this cranking by hand to put these bolts in, you may have to remove the battery cover in order to have enough clearance to use your hex, which in this case I didn't, and it was getting stuck back here, which you can't see on camera. But now we'll go ahead and attach this rear skid plate, or this lower skid plate, to the brace. Got one in, and for number two. All right, we're in, nice and tight. We haven't over drilled. Everything's good to go. We'll double check the torque. We're good. Now we've installed the brace and the skid plate. This portion is done. Now we'll move on to the next. Next up for the install is this rear bumper brace. It has 5 pre-drilled holes on it, 3 on one end and 2 on the other. This end with the 3 will be placed here on top of the rear axle housing where your linkages meet, and we'll have to remove these 3 screws, 1, 2, 3, replace it with 3 screws and 3 washers so we can affix the rear bumper brace and it has the correct clearance. So let's go ahead and remove one of those screws and start the install of the rear bumper plate. So we'll get our 3 screws and 3 washers. Yes, we have 3 white washers right here. And then we also have 3 button head screws. And we're going to do a 1-for-1 replace. So let's go ahead and start removing these. And I'm going to pan back a bit. And we'll go ahead and start removing these screws. Okay, we've got those 3 removed, and just to note, for these screws, we have 2 that are longer. Let me remove the shorter one. The 2 longer screws go on the outside holes, and the single shorter screw will go on the inside hole. So you'll get the screws that come with the kit, and you'll see that we have 2 longer screws and 1 shorter screw. So let's go ahead and get that installed. Okay, so what we need to do is grab our brace. We'll grab one of the white washers. The washer is going to go in between the brace and the axle housing. So we'll take one of the longer screws, get it started. All right, we're not going to go too far, just enough so we have this fixed, and we'll repeat the same process. Everything is tightened down, not over torqued, and we're good to go. Now we have installed the skid plate, and we've also installed the bumper brace. Next, we're going to install the rear bumper, and that will be all. Let's change angles and get that installed. All right, new angle so we can install the rear bumper. This is going to encompass these 5 small flathead screws plus 5 of the corresponding small locking nylon nuts. And that's going to correspond with 5 holes on the skid plate and the bumper brace. 3 at the bottom on the skid plate and 2 at the top on the bumper brace. The bottom portion of the bumper is going to go behind the skid plate, and the top portion of the bumper will go in front of the bumper brace. We'll do the skid plate first, one screw, and we'll also, actually we're going to do the skid plate all in total so we can get access to the locking, nylon locking nut. So let's go ahead and get one of our screws started. We went from a 2.5 millimeter back to a 5/64. And we're going to start this screw. Good enough to start it. We'll tighten it after the fact. Sinister Supreme team, we've come to the end of another one. Really quick, simple, easy install. It's a little tedious because of some of the angles you have to get into in order to install and ensure that your locking nuts are perfectly aligned up with the hole in your screw. But overall, very simple. Adds a nice back end to your Super Rock Ray, especially if you did what I did and you removed the stock body and replaced it with your own aluminum paddles. Your backside was kind of wide open and just out there, but now it's got a little covering. It makes that rump, that booty in the back look real good, and it's functional. Simple install outside of the fact that I had to take my drill bit and drill out one of the holes, but that's okay. It's just Delrin. It's meant to be drilled out. So it gives you another angle for you to say, I did my own modification and you made it work with what you had. Again, folks, simple. And I've said it before, anybody can do it. And that means even you can do this as well. Stay tuned. I've got a few more updates to do to this rig, one of which is going to be the T-Bone Racing front shot guards for the Super Rock Ray. And I'll also have a set of Gens Ace 4S batteries that I found that fit into the battery compartment. So I'll be able to mate in this rig for the first time pretty soon and see what she has to offer based off of the few upgrades that I have done. As you can see, as always before, we've got the J Sinister Productions, the JSP stickers here. Hey, if you're a new subscriber and you want a sticker, subscribe to my channel. Hit me with a screenshot showing that you have subscribed to my channel. We'll get the particulars together as far as your address, and I'll put you a sticker in the mail, free of charge. I'm even paying for the shipping. And speaking of free of charge, I'm not charging a few bucks per sticker like some people do. They're trying to recoup some of their costs that they put into their channel, and I can understand that. But right now, for now, I'm doing this for free, and I'm giving away free subscriptions to my channel, and those free subscriptions will get you a free J Sinister Productions sticker. Not everybody's going to get these. It's a limited run right now. I think I have about 50 of them. Once those are gone, we may redo the design. We may just keep it going, but get in on the initial batch of 50. Thank you for your time. We at J Sinister Productions, we appreciate you for checking out a small channel. We're very small, less than 50 subscribers right now. Hopefully within the near future we're way above that, but for now we're small, and we're going to be producing items of interest that we think have value and that you will like. Be sure to check out the description box below for links to the products that I've installed so far. Also, check out the description box for links to the previous videos in this series. There will be a playlist put together specifically for the Super Rock Ray and this build series. Also, check that description box for more information as to how you can help this channel. We appreciate all the help you can give us, whether it be through the links or through subscriptions, comments, and likes. Speaking of, like, share, and subscribe. It's free, it helps us out a lot, and it does wonders for the channel. As always, again, thank you for your time. I am Jay of J Sinister Productions, exiting stage left.
J Sinister Production.